psychological kind of story. Actually, I'm gonna do a little story time too. First of all, basically the whole idea is going to be, did you even try? And I want to tell you a story about this, right? So first of all, the beginning part of this is I made that recent block video thing, and then people were trying to make stupid arguments. And then I saw one guy even trying to say, well, what if, you did a safe jump? Which, do people really talk about safe jumps in this game in the first place? I don't know. I didn't think, with Tekken and all the kind of stuff and delayed get up, I didn't think this was a real big safe jump game. But the guy's argument was, well, I think it's cheap, basically, that if you do a safe jump, the person can do a super and then chip you out even though you baited it. Well, I don't know, for sake of argument, look at my commands. He did a level 3. I'm mashing on reflect now. Did you even try? That's what I feel like for so many things. The example you've given, which I already think is kind of suspect, because I don't think this is a game that people say, oh, this is all these safe jump setups all over the place. I didn't even think that's how people talk about this game, and I don't even play it. Are you sure? Am I missing something? But again, the argument was, well, I think it's cheap that, block damage could kill you if you did a safe jump. Well, in this game, you can see after the super, you can literally reflect. It's not like you have to guess reflect, which I actually don't even think that, you know what I mean? That's why I said I would actually have some moves that are actually unreflectable, but, you know what I mean? I don't, your argument makes no sense. You can try for 5 seconds. Just like all these other, I can't believe people are arguing about this for weeks, trying to say that I was wrong. You guys keep switching your argument every single time about this shit, and you're still wrong every time. Like, you think the person that basically laid down the foundation for the entire game is somehow wrong, which is scary because, again, I don't even fucking play this game. But did you even try? Let's talk about did you even try, right? And this is what I want to make this video about, because this is, sometimes I'm always thinking, am I smart or are just people really that fucking retarded? Because I don't consider myself that smart of a person, but apparently I'm a goddamn genius compared to some of the people, maybe everyone in the fucking fighting game community, it seems. So did you even try? Let's talk about did you even try? What about double supers? When, and you can go look it up unless the post got deleted, but I remember even Daimo went and found the post, so you could find some of the posts where I talked about it. Look at even an example like double supers. The day, it was years ago now, when I predicted basically Dragon Ball FighterZ, all the fucking combos, all this kind of shit without ever playing it. I was like, and go look at the original post, I'm like, you know what, even something is so simple, don't you think Goku could just double super? And my theory was, because, you just do, couldn't he just, and I even wrote in the post originally, like, man, if you're just doing this, and the guy is sliding like that, since you can then combo after a slide, what is to stop you from just doing Tiger Knee double super over and over again? Tiger Knee double, Tiger Knee super, blah, 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 blah. And people are like, oh, that would never work. They would have tried something so simple. Just like people are like, oh no, sparking loops wouldn't work. They would have tried that. Cell loops, that wouldn't work. Homie dash rejumps, no, that they would have tried that. Bomb loops, they would have tried that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure all this shit is possible. Do you even want to try for 5 seconds? And my theory on double supers is, I've told this story a couple of times, because if you recall, originally when the game was first in the betas, you actually slid longer. So I remember when I finally got the game, eventually the guy was like not sliding long enough to then get a super. That was 5 seconds. And I'm like, okay. So then, again, I think what will probably happen is maybe the developers at some point, maybe it wasn't for that. Maybe they just thought that after a hard knockdown, it was too easy to super. Maybe it wasn't something like this. But I'll give like a little bit of a, God, I hope they're not absolute fucking retards, because it's so obvious. I would assume a potential scenario is maybe someone did eventually at that final beta when you did not slide as long. Someone's like, man, I think you might be able to just keep on doing Tiger Knee super. And so I had gone because I didn't play the other betas, right? I mean, I predicted the game just looking at it. And so I was like, okay, that 5 second thing doesn't try. But what if I just did boom, 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 boom. Another 5 seconds. And then I was like, oh, it works. And that's literally how I found double supers, 10 seconds. 10 seconds, I just thought like, okay, well, now that they're sliding less long, Why don't I just put a little thought process together? If I'm knocking the dude in the air, you know, whatever I'm doing, then super, and they're falling to the ground, don't they take longer to slide to the ground? And then I can just, well, I'll just teleport down and then super that way. And I'm like, oh, it works. This took 5 seconds for me to figure out. And I guess you can't lead a horse to water, right? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, don't you think you can tell this is the way the game works? When the guy is sliding, you can super. How do you super them again? Oh, that would never work. They would have tried that. The retards. So maybe that is one of the reasons that when the final beta came out, you did not slide as long. But it's really just process of elimination or whatever you want to call it. It's like, well, what if I just get them higher and do it? And it worked. And one would think that the developers actually did not try this, which is crazy, right? Because if you recall, then the game, when it was first updated originally, then they made the supers, how supers hit, if you recall, because then you could do, is it this? You could do shit like this. They changed the way the supers hit. Like that could happen. And you got like hit higher and slower, or higher and faster, and you fell down. So some double supers didn't even work. Like low to the ground double supers with Goku didn't even work. So the fact they did that little change tells you, or would lead you to believe, no, they actually legitimately, they did not try this. They did not try to do super from that height. That just eluded them. And so they're like, well, fuck, let's put in a property that makes the double super or the super hit them down faster. And then like, wow, people can still double super. And then eventually then the game was patched again, and then double supers did no damage. But again, I'm telling you the story of what is very plausible to believe. They just didn't try for 5 seconds. Right? And that's why I give this example of the supers. Like, man, people are trying to make arguments to make me wrong whatsoever. It's like, dude, just try. Now I'm going to mash. Oh, well, I block. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. There we go. That's me mashing. Whatever. Oh, my God. I almost looked bad there. But the point is, dude, that's just mashing. That's not even trying to time it, though. It's like, so you know that's not fucking real. The person's like, oh, there's nothing you could do. If you do a safe jump, I don't know why they're talking about this game as a safe jump, whatever, blah, blah. This game is a safe jump fest. I don't think it is, but your argument was like, oh, well, you could do a safe jump and no one could ever super, or you would always have to take the block damage. Well, they literally put in mechanics so you don't. I actually feel bad that I missed that once, but that's just, that was ridiculous. I'm sorry that my fingers are slow and I did not mash fast enough, but the point is, you can even mash it and get it. This is not some rocket science shit. You can try for 5 seconds to see this game doesn't work like that. Just like people could have tried for 5 seconds to see that double supers work. But oh, this doesn't work. Sparking loops, no, they don't work. Bomb loops, they don't work. People would have tried this. So you literally, you guys are playing this beta for 6 months on and off. They're bringing people like Maximilian, all these kind of people to the Bandai Namco. I'm like, hey, you guys should try this. This works. No, that will never work. This will not work. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys they're literally flying you out the seconds. Nope, it won't work. And then you know what? I put out my videos that I did in 5 seconds. Then they put out their videos and they get millions of views on it. And don't even act like they didn't see my videos, because those original videos of mine were getting 50, 60,000 views. Because I was blowing up the game like no one else had ever had. You know what I mean? Within seconds. So it's like, did you even try? And man, you know, and I think people, maybe they don't, they're so, again, I'm using this term like intellectual kind of, just because I heard that from Jurassic Park again recently and I thought it was interesting. But, you know, a story I've told before is sometimes you're like too narrow-minded. And I remember an example of me being narrow-minded as a kid is I remember when I first played Street Fighter Alpha. I was too young. I couldn't even get a boner yet. Could I get a boner during Street Fighter Alpha? I was probably too young to get a boner during Street Fighter. Yeah, I was too young to get a boner during Street Fighter Alpha. That didn't happen until later. But the point was, I was a baby. But my brain was still very naive to video games, even though I'd been playing Street Fighter 2. And I remember when I saw Akuma's super fireball in the air, and I'm like, holy shit. Will anyone ever be able to actually jump over a fireball or react to this and go, ooh, a double super motion and fireball? I'm like, it blew my fucking brain. It blew my fucking brain. I'm like, wow, how are we ever going to learn to do this? How are we ever going to learn to be so fast to do a double circle forward in the air and do a super fireball motion? It blew my brain. Which is crazy. And I taught myself to do it originally slowly because I would do a fireball on the ground and then I would do a tiger knee because, you know, that's That seemed the most logical thing to me as a kid. Do a fireball here since I'm already on the ground, then do a tiger knee. And I slowly taught myself to like get better and better at it as a kid. But you know what's interesting about that? And I've used this example as well. How many people that they can do so many other combos in any other game, but then when they play Super Turbo, just doing a low forward to Super Fireball blows their brain. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wow, how the fuck do you do a low forward to Super Fireball in Super Turbo? Isn't that kind of crazy? If you think about it, it's kind of weird if you think about it. It's like, wow, so you could do a low forward to Super Fireball and Super Turbo, which a lot of people, I'm sure if you just have them play Super Turbo right now, offhand, never played it before, they won't be able to do it. But then you talk about, oh, just do a super, it's like, oh, I can do that. Because sometimes you just start to practice. You get practice, something is new, you learn it. You actually try it. You try it for more than 5 seconds, dude. So again, the question is, do you even try, bro? Do you even try, dude? Right? Their ass, and you know, they're very, very confused about what is actually possible in a game, because like, oh, you know, I mean, hell, they might not even try it for 5 seconds, or maybe, you know, some things do take a little bit of time. Like I said, do you think, like, son, I don't play video games anymore. People can act like I play video games so ridiculous that people are like, oh, you lab all day, blah, blah, blah. The whole point is I don't, and I still know more than fucking people, it seems. It's ridiculous. That's the whole fucking point, right? But the idea is, why can you do so many crazy things in different games? Because I've played many different games at a time. You know, I've got my hands, my feet wet is the saying, right? I was going to say my hands wet, my feet wet in certain games. And so I've had to learn a little bit of here, a little bit of there. So there's some muscle memory kind of stuff there that you remember how to do stuff. Do you think that, you know, I've showed I can do this, the Kai Impossible combo. People say cheat. You want to know why I'm able to do that even though I don't play the game anymore? Knock on wood, I mean, my controller just did break, so that's another fucking story. But you've seen me do it in videos and matches because I had done combo videos for the game when the game first came out. And so I taught myself how to do it. Now the muscle memory is generally there. Maybe I'll be a little bit rusty at it some point, whatever. Every day, some days are better than others, you know. Maybe, you know, I've had surgery on my hands, my body's killing itself. I can barely use my own body half the time. You know what I mean? So some days are worse than others, but to a certain extent, it's still there. You know what I mean? You got to get your feet wet. You actually got to try shit. You know, people acting like I've extensively labbed stuff. It's like you've extensively labbed something that you can tell works in 5 seconds. Anyway, that's my little game theory story time kind of rant thing. The end.